everyone, and welcome to the Indie Author Life Show, a space dedicated to sharing the unique stories of authors and creatives within the self-publishing space. My name is MG Hunt, and today I'm here with a wonderful indie author all the way from New York. So I want to give a massive thank you and welcome to the wonderful Morgana Sandpiper. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Morgana. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate being on here and thank you for having me on here. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
my pleasure. When you reached out to me, I think it was on the application form that I had, I didn't expect to necessarily get some buzz from the international community. I'm very familiar with the Australian community that we have here, but when I saw yourself apply and you said that you were from New York, I thought, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I'd love to get to know more about you and more of the indie author space that is happening in the States. So I'm so excited.
I'm excited too.
Oh, awesome. So, if you're ready, I do have some questions for you in regards to your background. So, I'm wondering if you can give us a little bit of an insight into yourself, your background, and where you grew up.
I grew up in I was actually in Florida for a little bit, but then I moved up to New York. And so I grew up in Western New York
Yeah,
and it's been a great life.
that's awesome. Love
Yeah,
that.
I grew up with a dad that he used to do waitering, and then my mom used to be stay at home. Now she does like she works with people with like their diets and stuff. But my
Yeah.
dad, like he would always grow like growing up, he would always tell me and teach me about my history being
Yes.
a Black American, being in
Mm.
like because my roots go back to like slavery and Jim Crow. So Jim Crow being like the Martin Luther stage, and then
Yeah.
slavery.
Yep.
So my so my father would always grow up like no when I was growing up he would always tell me about that. And
Wow.
then I was reading books as
Yeah.
well, obviously as one does
Yep.
as an author
Yep.
does. And I loved the Warrior Cat series growing up, and I was really into story
Mm.
analysis and all that jazz. And then, growing up, I just kind of got really into story and I took some of my father's lessons and then I kind of just put that inspiration into stories that
Yeah.
I need to be told. And
Yeah.
and I would go in and out of writing and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I finally came back to it like fully like in college when I was studying for like hospitality management,
Yep.
and I was like this degree's kind of easy, so I was like, well, let me get
Ah.
into writing. And and that's kind of where we are now.
Wow. That is so interesting. I think one of the common threads that seems to be apparent with the self-publishing indie author world is not necessarily that people go to college or university to study writing. It kind of comes as sort of like an itch that's needs to be scratched from a passion that's developed elsewhere, even though you decide to do a different discipline, as you said, with hospitality management, you were doing that as like your primary study. But the urge to write never went away, did it? Like it's still something you
No.
want to do. Yeah, I love that. Yep. Yep. And I think that's what's great about being an indie author and self-publishing is that it allows you to go ahead and do that alongside with your studies, full-time work, anything like that. So it's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that you are honoring the passion that you have for writing while studying as well. Sounds like you do have a busy life.
Yeah.
Getting into the next part that I want to ask you, which is about what a day in your life slash week looks like in regards to how do you juggle everything with your studies, your writing, and everything else that you have to do.
Yeah, it is something I'm still trying to figure out, to be honest. Yeah, because right now, okay, so I only ended up getting like a 2-year degree when
Yep.
I was doing it when I was doing because I'm out of college now, but when I
Yep.
was still in college,
Ah, yes.
I I would just do it in between time. Like I had a few classes and then like in between if I had I had the part-time job too for most of the time there and
Hmm.
I would just kind of do it on my I had a lot of free time. I had too much free time, so I was like, let me just knock out a novel like
Yep. Just casually, just do it.
yeah, so I would just do it on my phone. Like I'd be on campus and I'd just be hanging out and I'd just write on my phone. I had the docs, the Google
Hmm.
Docs. So yeah, so that's what I kind of did at the beginning for Soulmateless pretty much. And then this
Yeah.
year, oh, not this year, but last year it was a bit wonky because then that job, my because I
Mm.
graduated officially, and then the part-time job that I had that closed sadly.
Oh, that's a
Mhm.
shame. Yeah.
Yeah, but then for a few months uh I had a lot of free time, so I still live.
Mm.
So, I still I had a bunch of time, and it's kind of like that again because I had another job that was taking up a lot of my life, and then
Yep.
I it was hard to find that balance. It was just
Yeah.
like you kind of really have to force yourself, even though you're kind of tired. It was like a very
Yes.
like it was like a lot of time.
Yeah.
So it was just something that I think at that point, like I was already like almost done
Mm.
with Soulmateless. So then I took like a big break, and I think it was hard to get back into it because of
Yeah.
the job, and then
Oh.
I'm out of there, out of that job because
Yep.
it was a crappy job anyway. So
Oh, yeah, we've all
so
had
now I'm
them.
back. Yeah, so
Mm.
I'm back into just having some free time and
Nice.
see how it goes. We'll probably just keep flipping.
Yep, I love it. And it really seems that writing is still something that's a constant that you can come back to, even if you have to go between jobs and trying different things. I think that's really awesome to hear that you still want to pursue it, even though it is hard. Like juggling all the stuff that we have to do alongside the finding the passion to write. That is one of the hardest parts I find with being an indie author, but I'll be curious to get into maybe the next question that I have, which is what do you personally find is perhaps the hardest part of writing versus what is the most enjoyable part of writing from your perspective?
Um, so the most exciting part off the top of my head, I
Yeah.
really like editing for some reason. I know a lot of
Interesting.
people don't like it, but I like
Yeah.
the editing part more than I do the actual coming up with it because I feel like my I got like a lot of like brain block, like
Yeah.
I got a lot of not brain block, what is it called? Writer's block.
Writer's
A
block.
lot of times
Yeah.
when I'm coming up with the story. So like when I'm
Yeah.
editing it, I feel like I know what I'm doing and I'm like
Yes.
I'm just making it better and like I feel like every edit is like, see, it's going to plan.
Exactly.
It's a
I
lot.
relate to that. Yep. Good point.
Yeah. So that's why I
Wow.
like editing.
Yep.
The
Hmm.
hardest part, I mean, it's coming up with this. Right now, it's coming up with what specific stories.
Yeah.
Before because I do a POV. Right now, the
Hmm.
hardest part is like there's one character that I know his like their story, but
Yep.
then the other character, I'm like, I don't know. So I'm
Oh.
just trying to figure it out, but it's like
Mm.
having writer's block for one character and then
Yeah.
have a complete story for another character and
Interesting.
just trying to figure out how that's going to work because it doesn't make sense for them to be separate.
Yes.
It's, Yeah, because the second book to Soulmateless is dual POV with an
Yep.
even split. So it's like that'd be kind of weird to be
Yep.
like, no, it's only gonna be one character next book. So
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting challenge that you've got
yeah,
to get through because I can imagine like you were writing Soulmateless, as you said, with the duo point of view, but it was separate. Is that right? Like the two characters didn't necessarily intertwine, or perhaps
like
until the end.
they do intertwine
Mm.
and they do intertwine, but they have their own separate arcs, which is kind of where I'm
Ah,
struggling with
yeah.
like they in the next book is like they like I kind of know like the parts where they intertwine, but like
Yes.
when they're by themselves, I'm kind of having trouble with one character and I'm
Yeah.
still figuring that out. Yeah.
That is a very unique situation because I can imagine like that's yeah, I wonder how you're going to overcome that. But it
Yeah.
sounds like, because I'm not sure whether, I'm sure you're familiar with the debate whether you're a pantser or a plotter. Where do you fall into that kind of category? But it sounds like with one character, you had a plan. And then the other side, it was a bit like, not sure with things.
Yeah, so I'm kind of trying to do, I go back and forth between the two because I'm like, I don't know. Because I think before I was like, I was more pantsing, but I was kind of
Yep.
doing a little bit of both. I was kind of, I think they
Mm,
call it a planter. So I
Planter,
was kind
yeah,
of doing,
yeah,
yeah, so I was doing both. So I'm trying to figure out, I have one side of the story written. I'm starting to get into the other character story that I'm having trouble with. I'm
yeah.
starting to get into that. I think I have a more of a direction now. I feel more confident about writing it. It's
Yeah.
just that that's been causing me writer's block for like a few months.
Oh, I so relate to that. It takes me forever to get over one particular section where I do find myself, when I do experience writer's block, it really does paralyze me. I have to just stop and do other stuff for like a couple of months. So I very much relate to that. Maybe that's why I do call myself a very slow writer because I have to come back to things every now and again. Do you consider yourself a slow writer or are you pretty quick? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We switch up.
Yeah.
I'm so slow. But that's okay. I don't put any pressure on myself to pump books out. I appreciate people that can,
Yeah.
but I can't. I definitely think that it is best for our mental health as well to respect the block, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You just kind of go, okay, I'm having a moment. I need to step away. But do you find that if one of my techniques to get out of a writer's block is to write something completely different, whether it's just the ending for a book or even starting a new project. I've done that before. So, do you have any tips or tricks for yourself to get out of writer's block?
Um, Not
Mm,
quite. I mean, right now I
reading.
reading and music. Music, yeah, that was it. Music. Just
Yes.
trying to because I feel like a lot of the times sometimes I'll come up with things when I'm listening to music. Like I've created
Yes.
some characters just based on song.
Love that. That is so cool. I love
Yeah.
that. Very important to have a playlist. Do you make playlists and stuff? Yeah. Love
Yeah,
that.
I'm trying to now. I kind of just go through my YouTube history and
Yep.
I'm like, look, go back and that. But I am starting to have a playlist in
Love
order.
it. Love it.
Yeah.
Is there any particular genre of music or type of music that you gravitate towards for Soulmateless and the creation of the sequel for Soulmateless as well?
Right now and well actually the whole time it's pretty much been like Spider-Verse soundtrack,
Yes.
um
Yeah. Mm.
Arcane soundtrack,
Yep.
and now K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack. And I've
Yes.
been just kind of picking songs from like that match it, and then sometimes I'll go into like the
Yes.
artist off the album, and then I'll go and listen to more of their songs that relate to
Love
to the
that.
story. So that's kind of where I go. And then all like the League of Legend like
Yep.
songs too that come out. Yeah, just like even outside of Arcane, like KDA and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting because one of the things with fantasy and romantasy is when you try and find this is my struggle, and I'm not sure whether you can relate, but it's like sometimes when you're writing stuff that is in a completely different universe and you try to, make a playlist about it or something, but it's so based in like the real world with some of the, with K-pop Demon Hunters, for example, or the Spider-Verse, it's so like contemporary with the music. So I don't know why it still inspires a fantasy um, world, even though it's so contemporary with the music, but it does because I love
Yeah.
those two soundtracks in particular. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, they kind of have like a
Mm,
cinematic
yeah.
like twist to like, modern music. So I like that. Yeah.
That's a good point that it's cinematic. It's funny that you say Spider-Verse and K-pop Demon Hunters because in particular with like the Spider-Man Spider-Verse, that's the animated movie, isn't it? Yeah.
Hmm.
That playlist was pretty like relevant to the movies as well. So I
Yeah.
love that. And I even think about like when there is a story or a movie that has a solid soundtrack. Like I think about like the Black Panther soundtrack as well, how that was really profound and evoked a lot of like the story through that. K-pop Demon Hunters, I mean, I know that it's kind of like a musical as well. I
Yeah.
mean, K-pop, that is something that inspires so many indie authors because it's so like vibrant. So I
Mhm.
definitely love how you relate to those particular cinematic playlists in regards to your own work as well. Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. So, if you're ready to get into some more discussion around Soulmateless, I am because I really love the title Soulmateless as well. Can I just say?
Mm,
I think
thank
that it's
you.
so evocative of something that sounds so like intriguing because it sounds so desolate and like, oh no, someone doesn't have their soulmate. It sounds
Yeah.
so, it's such a great title. And I'm wondering, how did you come up with the title?
It was kind of tricky because I didn't know how to I didn't know how I was gonna name my book for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at first it was gonna be called Not by Fate, but then I kind of was
Mm.
like, it was like a weird thing because I'm like, but they don't even talk about fate like that. They don't even say fate like that. And
Yep.
I'm like, I don't know why that like I don't know like they kind of did, but they never said the word fate really. So I'm like,
Yes.
why? Like I feel like it shouldn't be in the title.
Yep.
But then I'm like, but then I was like, yeah, we need something different.
Yep.
Not it's gonna be not by fate. It's gonna be something else. And then I looked
Yeah.
through my book, and then I'm like, oh, they used the term soulmate list. I'm like, I got it.
Perfect. And it's great because it's one word.
Yeah.
Which is quite rare. That's quite rare in the publishing industry, with lots of book titles are usually 4 words long, especially in fantasy. It seems to be of something and something, a court of something and something, those kind of vibes. But when I saw the title of your book, I thought, yeah, that really encapsulates exactly what I think I'm getting into when I pick up the book. So you've done a really good job with the
Thank
title,
you.
in my humble
Thank
opinion.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, it's such a great idea. And so getting into Soulmateless as the project itself, how long did it take you from start to finish to get Soulmateless out there?
I would probably say it has to be 3 years
Wow,
because
yeah.
I started off with a completely different plan for Soulmate List. It was like it was supposed to be like they're in hell.
Oh,
Like there was like
interesting.
it was like yeah, I might build off of it on a later project. I
Yeah,
don't know,
that's
but
cool.
because I don't really know what to do with it anymore. But it was like supposed to be like demons, and
Yep.
they're kind of like fighting each other and they're like killing off each other, and then like like the victor. I guess it's not really a
Yes.
victor because it's kind of like it's like the rules work where like if you defeat like a
Yep.
higher ranking team, then you get their spot. Like
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so you get to steal their ranking, and
Yeah.
that was kind of the situation I was going with. And then like
Cool.
yeah, so it was like a whole completely different story. And
Wow.
then I got some author friends. A very particular author friend was helping me with writing because I was stuck and I was writing on, and it was just like a very long piece that I had no idea was where it was going anyway.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I had to rewrite it a few times, and then I came up with like different ideas. I was like, okay, it's not going to be in hell, it's going to be its own thing. Thought I wanted it to be kind of like a medieval times, but then I was like, nah,
Ooh.
how about we go to modern times? And then
Yeah.
yeah, and then I was like, city life,
Yeah.
let's try this instead. And then I came up with Soulmateless, and then I had to do 2 years of editing on that thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's really had kind of two or three different lives in
Yeah.
essence. That is really interesting. So do you maybe this is something that I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but
Mhm.
do you ever think you'll come back to that idea about the living in hell replacing the teams, that kind of concept that you talked about? Do you think that idea could appear maybe in future books that you plan to
Maybe.
write?
I might. I have like a few ideas from like
Oh
other
yeah.
times, like just kind of kept away. I'm like, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with that one, but it is a cool idea, so I might come back to it. I
I
don't know.
think you should. I don't know, like maybe I'm someone who quite likes dystopia. I mean, I love Hunger Games. I love all that
Yeah.
stuff. I love the Scythe series. I really enjoy that, and that's a bit dystopian as well. That's in a world where um no one dies naturally, and
Oh.
people have to be like the world population has to be culled by people that are called like the Scythes, the people that come and I'll have to send you the book cover so that you can see because I'm pretty sure you once you see the cover you'll be like, oh yeah, I think I know that. So
Okay.
I hope that dystopia and the genre like that, YA dystopia in particular. Maybe I'm biased because I write in YA, but I hope that makes a resurgence because I love it.
Yeah.
I think that, and maybe it will make a resurgence because of the, not to get political, but the climate that we're living in. I feel
Yeah.
like it's going to inspire some stories like that.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah.
I think
We're
so.
just living in hard times. Yeah. It's kind of
Yeah, yeah.
we need some improvements around the world. Definitely.
Certainly, certainly.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I did want to touch on just quickly the cover for Soulmateless because one thing about me, and I know I've probably said this before and it might be done to death with what I talk about here, but I'm a professional graphic designer by trade. That's my full-time job. And when I see an attractive cover, I just love it. And your cover in particular for Soulmateless, I adore because it is so bright and colorful, but not overwhelming as well.
Mm.
So, how did you come up with the cover for Soulmateless?
Thank you. So, yeah, I went on Get covers. I got one
Mhm.
from Get covers, and it
Yep.
took a while because they didn't really understand for
Yeah,
a
yeah,
minute.
yeah.
But I know I wanted it to be pink and purple, have
Yeah.
flowers. I wanted to have the creature, which is Dream Screecher. So it's like the a puma with horns. And
Yep.
it's purple and
Yep.
stuff. But
Which is perfect.
so
I can
I was
definitely
like,
see that. Yeah.
yeah, for Soulmateless. That's kind of the description I went with that.
Mm.
I brought it. I That's the description I sent to them, and then that's
Yep.
what they came back with, and then we kind of
Yep.
did the little changes here and there. But yeah, that's how it came about. It's just like I don't really know what to do, so here's what I need, and then they were like,
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's one of the hardest parts when it comes to creating a cover is knowing exactly what you want on it. Because even I
Mhm.
struggle with my own books, I do my own covers. And you would think that with the experience that I have in my professional world, that would come easy, but it doesn't. I think that covers, no matter what, shout out to the cover artists out there that do that full time because it's hard
Yeah,
to interpret what a client wants. But I'm looking at the cover right now on my other screen, and I can definitely see the outline of the puma with the horns. I can see that creature so clearly, and that's what drew me in to the cover is the creature. I thought, it's very interesting, and it's to do with shifters. Is that right?
yeah.
Yeah, I love that because I
Thank
think that
you.
there's a lot of like shifter books out there that, from what my understanding is, a lot of shifter books are in like the wolf category. So to see
Yeah,
them in the big cat category, I love that.
yeah.
So what
Thank
inspired you to go with the puma as like the shifter cat the character?
I grew up loving big cats.
Yep.
I was a Lion King 2 fan. I was so into the Lion King like in general, like when I
Yep.
was like 5. I was like my no, not even when I was 5, like when I was like 4.
Yep.
Like my grandma
Me too.
gave me The Lion King 2, and I was just obsessed from that
Yep.
point. And then every time I'd go to the library, like in school, like they take you to the library, right? It
Yep.
had to be about the cats. It had to be. And I was like studying them a lot. I was really into jaguars for some reason, and
Yeah.
I was just really into them. But so I was really into the Lion King, and I
Love it.
grew up loving the Lion King, and
Yes.
I was into just the Lion King. And
Yeah,
then
I was
and then
too.
yeah. And then Warrior Cats didn't help that very much. It just made it so then I was just really into cats. So when I was like
Yep.
so even my story, like it's actually I actually created like some of the characters from Soulmateless like a while ago, but it was like an even more different story than the health story. It was them as cats.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so then I made them human at some point, and
Yep.
then I came back to the cat thing.
Yep.
And actually, my version of like demons and
Yes.
hell, there were cats too.
I
There were
was
big
just
cats.
wondering that. Yeah, that would make sense. Like you could have like the really evil cat kind of like, yeah, I can see that happening. I can see that
Yeah,
happening. That's super cool. Love that. Do you have any pets yourself? Do you have cats?
I finally got a cat 4 years ago, so
Love it.
she's somewhere. So
Yeah.
happy about
Love,
her.
love, love. I have a cat as well, and she's not in the room right now. She's probably hiding somewhere else. But yes, I do love animals, love cats. I think that
Yeah,
like it's so interesting about The Lion King because it was like a really big movie and moment when I was 4 and 5 as well. I don't know whether
yeah,
such a big part of like our life. I don't know why The Lion
yeah.
King just had this chokehold.
Yeah, it did. I have no, yeah,
I
it's
just
just
love it.
like,
It
like
was
the
great.
animals. Yeah, it
Animals,
was
yeah, everything.
animals with the drama.
Yes, the drama. There was also another movie I remember, and I don't think it was a Disney movie, but it was the one with the horses. Um,
Spirit?
uh, Spirit, yes.
Yeah.
Loved, loved Spirit as well. Anything with the animals and the story, yeah.
Yeah.
It just had that hold on us for the generation.
Yeah.
So, my next question that I have for you with Soulmateless is about the romantasy genre itself, because I imagine that the book does focus a lot on romance and obviously the fantasy as well. But It's interesting how there's a bit of a subversion around the common tropes to do with like the role of love in society. So, in regards to having like to being soulmateless, again, that title is, yeah, captivating to me. So, how do you portray love and romance in Soulmateless? And how does that differ from maybe some other romantasy books out there?
Yeah, I really wanted um yeah, it was a hard time coming up with how the story was going to be, right? And I was
Yeah.
like I somehow along the way I was like, you know what? Because I wanted to make them fated mates,
Yep.
the two main characters fated mates at first, and then I was like, nope, we're gonna actually just flip it around.
Love
So
it.
I kind of wanted to have a little bit of fun with it and like show like what if the main characters were the only ones that didn't have a soulmate
Love
and
it.
like kind of wanted to focus on like how they choose each other despite like societal pressures, and there's also like a hint of racism in there and like
Mm.
how yeah like how they like struggle and like try and like they're like kind of clawing their way to each other despite the world being like, no, we you guys can't be together,
Yes.
this is not something that happens. So yeah, this is like one thing I just love, like romances that I love, like it's always like they gotta fight to be together. And
Yes.
I really wanted to show that fight and like that heart, like the heartbreak and the tension and stuff to like to them finally being together and how like how it kind of takes a toll on them.
Yep.
So that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to show with Soulmateless. That's the
Love it.
pain,
The
the pain to like get together because being together is the most important thing
How
to them.
I just love that. I think that is so cool. And I think it's so intelligent to also include parts that touch on the reality that probably a lot of people experience. Maybe there is a connection with the struggles that interracial couples have to deal with. And this is an
Yeah.
expression of that too. I think it's so profound, so
Yeah.
epic to have that. So we need more books
Thank you.
like yours out there.
Thank you.
And
It was
so,
actually
keep going, keep going.
no, that's all right. It was I was gonna say that it's kind of funny because um I realized I feel like I didn't realize this like until after I started writing Soulmateless, but then I realized like my grandmother and my grandfather on my mom's side,
Yeah.
there was actually like because my grandfather's he's biracial, right? And he's
Ah,
black,
yep.
and my grandma she was white, and my great grandparents did not like
Yeah.
that
Mm,
from my white side.
yep.
Um, so
Mm,
then so then like they kind of had like a little bit of a struggle until they had kids, and then it was fine. But I thought that
yeah.
was kind of a funny like parallel, like because I didn't even know that. Like I didn't even
Yeah.
know that recently, and then I was like, no wonder.
No wonder you wanted to write that. It was something maybe that was because I always believe that inspiration comes like this, the generation to the idea comes to you from means that we don't really understand. Like, how do we come up with ideas? I don't know. They just come into our heads. But there's got to be a reason why the idea comes to you. And I do believe that when the idea comes to you, it's because it wants to manifest itself through you. So the story about the history of racial trauma was wanting to come through you. And that
Yeah,
was the expression. And Soulmateless is an
yeah,
homage to that. It's awesome.
yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
I think it's really important. And I think that it seems to be something that we'll never really, well, at this current stage, we have a long way to go, even though, of course, there are laws that have changed in regards to, interracial dating and all that kind of stuff. Societally, we still have a long way to go. So these stories do need to be told. Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Love it. Absolutely love it. So, I also want to get into maybe and just tell us only what you would like to say. But
Okay.
Are there, I'm guessing there are plans for a sequel for Soulmateless.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you give us an insight about where Soulmateless Book 2 is at and what's going on with that?
Yeah. Right now, I have the first draft done. I'm doing the draft two where I'm trying to put
Yep.
the pieces together. It's been a bit of a struggle, but I think I'm on my way to publishing it this year. So later on in the fall, hopefully. And I'm excited. It's gonna be a little bit painful, but it's also gonna be a little
It always is.
yeah, so it's gonna have a lot of like it's gonna have that same like tension and like kind of like heartbreak and and like angst and stuff, but it's also gonna have a lot of love and it's gonna have like some wholesome moments that I hope you guys are like, oh, that's so
We
cute.
want that.
Yeah,
We,
I'm trying to I'm putting a little bit of both of that, so look out for it if you want like that kind of like
absolutely.
gut wrench, but then also like, oh, that's so
Oh, that's the best part. I think you want to take your
cute.
readers on a journey of like, oh, the heartbreak. Oh, but they get together. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Love
Yeah.
it. Love it. And so I mean, that's really exciting that you've got plans for a release around so fall. So you're thinking after maybe between September to November, a release
Yeah.
date around there. That's very
Yeah.
exciting. And then after that, are you planning to do a third book in this series? Will it be a
Yeah.
trilogy? Oh, lovely. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's gonna stop after the three though. I might
yep,
have plans for maybe a prequel series. I don't know. But
please.
but
Absolutely.
yeah, it's definitely gonna be a trilogy and that's gonna be probably I'm like maybe it's gonna be pretty devastating. Book three's gonna be pretty devastating. I have some ideas for it. It's gonna have a happy ending because
Yep.
romantasy, and not
Y-
romance,
You can do what you
romance means
want.
happy ending. But romance needs to have a happy ending. So have a
hmm
happy ending. It's gonna be.
How how does that happy ending happen? You know, there's lots of different
Yeah,
ways that we can get there. So
yeah,
I'll be very curious to see how it all ends up. So that is so exciting that it's going to be a trilogy and that you
yeah,
potentially have plans for a prequel. I feel like that is so relatable for indie
yeah,
authors to just go, oh, but I could do this as well. And then maybe I could
yeah,
do a little backstory on this character and all that.
yeah, yeah,
There's
exactly.
love it. We just don't stop thinking about our
Yeah,
universe.
yeah, exactly. There's so much that I want to tell everybody, but
I know.
can only do that in so many words.
You can only do that in so many words, and then it's all on to you to do it, and you'll get
Yeah.
there. I have all the faith in the world that you'll get there. So,
Thank you.
and I look forward to it. So, with that, I should start to wrap things up because you've been amazing, Morgana. You've given me so much of your time, and I really appreciate it. And
Yeah.
so, for our audience here listening today, where can people find you and get in contact with you and see your works on social media? And do you have a website? All that. Plug yourself. Go for
Yeah.
it.
So on Instagram, Sandpiper Writes, and I'm also on TikTok and I'm on Threads as well.
Threads.
I'm on Facebook as Morgana Sandpiper. And then I do have a website. It's a
Well,
Google site.
yeah, it's
So
a Google site. So it's Morgana Sandpiper. Yeah.
yeah, thank you. Because sometimes I switch it around, like
Yeah.
in my email is like Sandpiper Morgana, so then
Yeah.
I forgot which way I did it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but thank you for that.
No
So
problem.
yeah, so you can find me there. That I have my newsletters on my website. You could just
Yes.
if you want to go to my Instagram and just click on the link tree and go to my
Yes.
website.
You'll find it
That's
there.
yeah, you'll find it there. And then
Yeah, you got a
the
lot.
brain. Yeah, and
No
I
problem.
think that's all. So actually, I'm like
You
trying to think.
you've got
I
a
think that
lot. You've got a lot out there. And so if people want to purchase Soulmateless, how do they go about doing that?
yeah. So right now it's on Amazon. Right now it's on Kindle Unlimited. Though I'm thinking about
Wow.
opening up my own store, but
Yeah.
later on, but not right now. But if you want to do it right now, this is just for like in the future. If
The
someone wants to
future.
watch this in the future,
Yes, that's
and they're
right.
like, "Where the heck is it?" I thought it was on KU.
You'll find it. Just Google the
Yeah,
name and you'll find
yeah,
it.
but right now it's on Amazon
Perfect.
right now for paperback and ebook, and it's on
Awesome.
K.
Yes.
hmm
And have your books been in bookshops before, bookstores?
Yeah, there's a few there's two in Rochester, New
Yep.
York. If you're in the area, in Park Avenue, there's Burn Bright Shop.
Yeah.
It's gonna be in the local section or the paranormal. I
Yep.
think it's also paranormal romance where they put it.
Yep.
And then Barnes and Noble's down in Pittsford. I think
Pittsburgh. Yep.
there should be a few copies left. I don't, there should be
Nice.
some copies left in Barnes and Nobles, and both of them have signed books too as well. So
Ooh.
yeah, so if you want to get a
Hmm.
signed edition and you're in the area,
Go pick it up, please.
yeah,
All the people that are around in the East Coast, New York area, you've got to go check out those places if you want a signed copy of Soulmateless, because that would be very special.
yeah,
Amazing. Thank you so much, Morgana. I really appreciate all your insights into your indie author life. It has been such a joy to hear all about your plans for the Soulmateless trilogy. And I'm so excited to see what happens next. So,
Thank you.
best of
Thank you so
luck.
much for having me on here and getting me to talk about my author journey. I really appreciate it. It's pretty cool that you're helping other indie authors get like an audience, and I love that. So thank
Oh,
you so much.
it's my absolute pleasure. I just love hearing about how other people approach this practice because it's so unique, but yet there seems to be so many intertwining parts to the community that we've created for ourselves. So I love it.
Yeah.
And even though we are separated by the Pacific Ocean and
Yeah.
continents, there's still so many overlapping elements to our stories.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Love
I
it.
love
Well,
that.
on that note, I should say again a massive thank you, Morgana. Everyone, please check out Morgana Sandpiper's works. If you love shifters, if you love romantasy, if you love all those kind of vibes, you've got to check out her stuff. So, thank you everyone for listening today, and I hope you have a great day wherever you are. So, there we go. Thank you so much for watching the Indie Author Live show. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you want to know more about my own literary journey or the journey of some of our guests that you might have seen on the show, please consider subscribing or following my Substack or my YouTube channel. Finally, if you want to know more about my novel, Still Waters Run Deep, it is available on many distribution websites such as Amazon, Etsy, Baventi, you name it. All that information will be in the show notes if you're interested in learning more about my story to do with elemental magic and coming of age. Take care, everyone, and see you in the next episode.